But now it's time for Derek to give a reading to our first guest. Meet Elizabeth, who's obsessed actually with Elvis Presley. She recently went on her ultimate dream holiday to his home in Memphis, but her passion has left her in serious debt. Each month Elizabeth has to borrow money from her family and friends to survive. So over to you, Derek, along with Elizabeth over there. It's nice to see you.
Hello, Elizabeth. Hi. Now, because I had my ears blanked out to those conditions of what Becky was saying then, someone in spirit did this to me. It was a lady, still is a lady. Would you believe it is exactly the same name as yourself, Elizabeth, but I feel her name was shortened to Bet or Betty. And as she comes here, please, she wants to give the impressions here, please, that you... this question, there's something deep down inside that you've been asking. Could you just say it with your own words, please, so I can get the symbols?
The finances.
Sorry?
The finances, if they'll
bless
change
you.
this year.
Yes. Now, can I just say this to you? Steady goes it, someone says, and this is what the lady says to me. The conditions we do not see and we cannot be orchestrated overnight, this, I'm afraid. I'm just copying what she's saying. However, you're going to find a release from your conditions beginning of the November month of this year 2000. And it will go right the way through until we land to the very end section of the summer months of the year 2001. It's then, okay, your conditions, it's like you standing at the threshold saying, or whatever word you're going to use, at last, thank God, okay? And it will change, okay? It will change. But you see, when it does take that tide of change, you're going to be absolutely amazed what the spirit world are going to afford you. Because as we go to the end of the year 2001, as they're showing me, and this is not fortune telling, I'm copying what they're saying. As we go into the year 2002, it seems, I don't believe in the word Dame Fate as such. Dame, I believe in fate, yes, but it's not even Dame Fate stating this for you. It's to say to you, the world of spirit have looked at you as an individual, as a spirit person in the physical body, and said, right, for all her hard work and what she's done in the past and what have you, at last we will give her a few little blessings, and it will come in finance. So it will happen the year 2002, as you step into it, you'll find you will receive. It's not earned income, it's not a windfall, but you will receive monies that will be offloaded to you unexpectedly. And that's the way it's meant to be on your spiritual agenda. From that point on in, Elizabeth, I can assure you as best from the truth of the world of spirit that you'll not look back again in this lifetime. Now, it seems long drawn off, but it's not. If you look to the pointers of the times they've told me to tell you, you'll see the gradual improvement, okay? But the year 2002. Woo, okay? And I say that on behalf of the world of spirit, okay?
Okay, thanks.
So will you keep that in mind?
Yes, yes I will.
And it's not forever, this, okay?
Okay.
I can assure you.
Okay, thanks very much.
Bless you.
Thank you.
You put smiles on people's faces, that's what you do.
No,
Isn't that great?
The spirit people do. The spirit, I try.
You weren't smiling, were you, before, Elizabeth, but you're smiling now. Do you feel better?
Oh, a lot better.
Can you hang on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, you hang on.
Okay.
And thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that's all for this part of Predictions. After the break, we meet Maureen Blackburn. She wants to know if her son, who died last year, has forgiven her. And, of course, we'll be taking questions from the studio audience. We'll see you then. Welcome back. I'd like you to meet Maureen now, who feels nothing but guilt since her son died from drug addiction. Maureen says she'll never stop grieving, but she would like her guilt to ease. She wants Derek to ask her son if he's forgiven her for not protecting him. Maureen, it's very nice to see you. Thanks for joining us today. Derek?
Thanks, Becky. It's lovely to meet you, Maureen.
And you.
I have been very, very, very closely addressed here by a young man. He was talking to me off camera, that's why I walked over to you. Can I say this to you? Firstly, there is no, and he's expressed this because he does understand since being over now, your son. He's expressed this wish for you. He looks back, he showed me like a rerun of what he did, what happened and what have you. And I would just say this to you. Often, if he could turn the clock back, I would say that with that word to you, he would not have gone about, as he called it, he doesn't mind saying this, recklessly. Okay, he said he realised, he said, you know, I give my mum, I ran a ragged, Derek. I worry and what have you. He said, but if I could turn the clock back now, he said, it wouldn't be done that way. He said, but I'm over here. He said, please tell my mum I'm happy. But that's one thing he does not want, is for you to be scathing yourself over his issues. He realises himself now, and he's taken on, he's clear as a bell in thought. There's nothing to hinder him anymore. He's in God's celestial light. He's in the right place for him to progress. And he said, tell mum, tell my mum, okay, I'm going to be around her before this bank holiday is away. So in other words, he's going to go home with you, okay?
Yeah.
He does realise, but he doesn't want that guilt anymore. There's no need, because if you feel this way, he will walk around doing the things in the world of spirit, not in a happy way. That's because he feels that much.
Yeah.
He said, you wouldn't have thought so, Derek, the way I went about things. He said, saying that I love my mum, and yes, I did what I did. Now, he wasn't a bad person in any way. He wasn't. And he knows it, and even his main helper there said, no, you were not a bad person in any way. You were just a little bit reckless, like a lot of young men and young women. And some of us have this, and none of us escape this. Some of us have got a facility within us that, whether we like talking about it or not, it's what we call an inability not to press a self-destruct button. Now, we've all got that facility within us. So, you know, there's no badness in it. However, some, you know, go to extremes. They can't help it. And your son couldn't help it.
No, I know he couldn't.
You do understand this? And, you know, can I also say to you, please, without bringing any negativity to you, wasn't there also, now resident in the world of spirit, because I am aware of a gentleman, separate to your son, a man, please, who used to, that was his pleasure, used to drink too much? A person who used to drink alcohol too much? No. You're not aware of him?
No.
I feel it goes back a little bit, but that is in the family link, I feel, on your father's side, on your dad's side.
Yeah.
And you see, he was one of them that met your son and pointed a few things out, what he did in his life, and he said, "Huh, son, you weren't as bad as me." He said, "I give them a terrible time down back there." But he said, so can I just say this to you? He doesn't want any more guilt, okay? Right. He will come through to you. He promises. Yeah. He promises, okay? Yeah. Did he have a friend, your son, called Steve?
Yeah. Yeah, he did have.
Yes.
Yeah.
And was he a bit of a character, Stephen?
Yeah, he's a nice lad.
Yeah. Well, you'll see Stephen within the next couple of days, according to your son, okay?
All right.
And watch what he tells you.
Right.
Watch what... Oh, he's just had a laugh. He said, "Tell me, Mum, will you? Will you do this for me?" I said, "Okay." He said, "I will stand up," because he'd make me do it, you see. He said, put his hands in his pockets like that, and he said, "Skint again, Mum." "Don't need it over here." Okay?
He was always skint.
Was he?
Yeah.
Bless you. Well, he doesn't need that sort of thing over there. But I tell you what, he's well. Be proud of him, because, you know, change it round to the negative thoughts of what, you know, was displayed to you.
Yeah.
Change it round and be proud of this son that's progressing and great. He's going to do very good things in the world of spirit. He wants you to be proud of him.
Right,
and he will give you proof of this time and time again when he comes back to you.
All right, Maureen.
Okay, thanks.
Okay,
Yeah.
very nice to see you. Thanks,
Okay,
Derek.
bless.
Now then, would you like to appear on Predictions? You could be part of the audience or take part in a reading. If so, all you have to do is write to us here, including your address and telephone number, to Predictions, Granada Breeze, Key Street, Manchester, M60 9EA. That's Predictions, Granada Breeze, Key Street, Manchester, M60 9EA.